facility personnel, ARF.
Figure it out.
ARF by an ARF.
And Jeremy just came?
Yeah.
He said it was a really good conference.
ARPA. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Or in, I bug all the staff.
Hopefully they got real food this time.
As long as they have gravy.
No, as long as they have meat.
Yeah, well.
Last time I was there, all they got was bird feed.
Oh, that was for waste management or something, waste compost.
Recycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it can make it into compost easier.
Yeah.
Edible compost.
Terrible.
My daughter-in-law's.
Okay, I'd like to call the organizational meeting of the Town of Redwater for October 28th, 2025 to order. I, David McRae, on behalf of the Town of Redwater, acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory, the traditional lands of many First Nations and Métis peoples, whose histories, languages, and cultures continue to enrich our province. I'm looking for an approval of the agenda from council. Councillor Cosby, thank you.
Move that the agenda be adopted as circulated, Your Worship.
Any additions or deletions to the agenda from council? Anything from administration?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, no additions or deletions from administration.
Thank you. I'll call that question. All in favor of the approval of the agenda? And that's carried. 3.1, council introduction. And other than the fact that my agenda just left me, I'll go to the far right and ask Councillor Olson if he would like to introduce himself.
Councillor Rob Olson, this is my fifth term, sorry, and I'd like to thank the residents for your confidence in me for the next 4 years.
Tina Cosby, this will be my second term, and I as well would like to thank all the members of the public that have voted me in and trust me to be their voice for the next 4 years.
Councillor Dwayne Spicer, this is my third term, and I also would like to thank all those that in the community that supported me, and also that I be your voice in the upcoming term.
Thank you. Go down to the far end.
My name is Mel Smith. It's my first term as councillor in a long time. And I'm really looking forward to getting on the business and working with everybody.
Councillor Paul Brown, this is my first term as well, and I just want to thank members of the community who voted for me, and I look forward to speaking on their behalf.
Councillor Connie Butcher, I've been doing this for 27 years, and if I had the life to do it for 27 more years, I would. And I'd like to thank the town for supporting me over the years.
And my name is David McRae. I'm the mayor of the town of Redwater. I had a single term as a councillor, and this is my second term as mayor. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank all of council for putting their names forward on the ballot. It's not an easy decision to make, but I congratulate you all for your victories and look forward to all the work we can do together over the next 4 years. 3.2, council committees, boards, and commissions appointments. Mr. Van Buell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. So the purpose of this is to appoint members of council to committees, boards, and commissions for the upcoming year, 2025-2026. There's two motions. The first is that council move the establishment of an ad hoc committee for the purpose of the 2026 annual golf tournament that includes 3 members of council as voting members and 3 staff members that is in an advisory capacity. Just on that point, the golf committee is a committee of council. It's probably the only operating committee that council has, and when I say it's an operating committee, it makes decisions, and it runs on a budget of break even and make some money for the purposes of our scholarship program, and then community fundraising as well. The second proposed motion is move that the proposed council appointments to the 2025-26 council committees, boards, and commissions be accepted as circulated. And I believe there was one addition late to that, and that was the Community Services Board. Again, administration recommends that council approves the above proposed motion for the appointments. And again, the base remuneration is all laid out in our, the base and per diem remuneration is all laid out in our policy. If there's any questions, we can certainly answer those questions on the policy. One of the big changes, again, and we are working on the actual timesheet for council, because the big change is from the previous remuneration is 2-hour meetings, 4-hour meetings, and more than 4-hour meetings. So those smaller meetings, you'll have to keep track of how long you're at each meeting on a per hour basis, and that's going to help us understand better the commitment that counselors have in their work as a counselor. I guess the other big change on that is the lower per diem rate for conferences, conventions, and seminars. We lowered the flat rate. And that was, again, there was a public committee that came back with recommendations for council. Some things went up, some things went down. We increased a few things. But I think all in all, I think it's a fair policy for council to understand and be able to, and I'll say this, I don't want any of the previous council to take offense to this, but there were times when councilors were at smaller meetings and they wouldn't claim for them. And so keeping track of what that council commitment was became an issue for the committee, and that was the big reason for the 2 hours and lowering that conference rate, just to make the dollars work. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else that I want to highlight in this session or in this RFD, but I will answer any questions that council has.
Councilor Olson.
Make the motion that council establish an ad hoc committee for the purpose of the 2026 annual golf tournament. It includes 3 members of councils as voting members and 3 staff members as advisory capacity.
Discussion by council.
Worked good in the last few years.
Not seeing any, I'll call, go ahead, Councilor Spicer.
We'll appoint the names later in the year, or in next year, right? In the spring?
No,
We
actually in the next.
They're on the list.
Oh, okay, I
We
didn't see
included them in the list. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's Councilor Olson, Councilor Crosby, and myself. If there's somebody else who wants to jump onto that as a golfer, that would be fine too. I put Councilor Crosby in there because she has headed the cooking section of the golf tournament in the past, so that's why we kept that connection. Anything else?
Mr. Mayor, if I could, just on that, and the reason why there's 2 separate motions on this is because that committee is not established in our procedural bylaw, so it's an ad hoc committee, so we need the motion for the ad hoc committee first, and then we'll do the rest.
Not seeing any other discussion, I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. Councilor Smith?
I'd like to make a motion that proposed council appointments to 25-26 council committees, boards, and commissions be accepted as circulated.
Thank you. Discussion? Tried to even it out and make sure everybody had some important things. We had a conversation in the outgoing council that there needed to be some equalization. Some of that was because of who was able and who wasn't at certain times, but I think it creates a good balance for everybody. Anything from council? Not seeing anything. Go ahead, Councilor.
I do have one question. With the intermunicipal committee, right now it's yourself, Councilor Cosby, and Deputy Mayor. Councilor Cosby becomes Deputy Mayor.
I would suggest probably what would happen easily would just be the acting mayor would slide in there, but I'm open to any suggestions from council. Go ahead.
I think your suggestion of, the acting would come in place if Council Crosby was not available.
Go ahead. Would you prefer?
I'd like to make the motion actually to change that item to acting/deputy.
Okay. And we wouldn't need it as a motion because
No,
we're
but-
accepting the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just,
Make that change then to,
Acting and deputy.
yeah, acting/deputy mayor.
would that work with administration?
She won't be both at once.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, members of council, I'm just trying to go through my head here. I think my suggestion would be that intermunicipal committee probably doesn't want to change members very often, if at all, because you know, we started this process with Sturgeon County over a year ago, well over a year ago. So we're past kind of a deputy mayor term on it, and I would suggest that you might want to just appoint three people to that and have it there.
For the 4-year, so change
Well,
change the term?
For this entire year,
Okay.
right? And then next year at the
Board meeting.
at the org meeting, if you do need to make a change, then you can make a change, or you might just say, hey, we're far enough into these discussions that we don't want to move those individuals. But that would be my suggestion, rather than kind of slide it, right?
Would be beneficial to make it a 4-year term? From an annual to,
I think our biggest problem is that the ICF IDP leaves us in 27, doesn't it? 2027 expires.
Yeah, the agreement expires, I believe, in April of 2027. So we've really got a year and a half. And you know, I know this is a public meeting, but there hasn't been a lot of traction with that committee to really get into the nuts and bolts with Sturgeon. We did renew our rec agreement for a year. Our fire agreement is going to come up
lots of.
right away. So there are some things that we're gonna have to deal with, and I guess long-winded answer, it wouldn't hurt for 4 years. I don't know that you have to go for 4 years, but I would try and, I would set it until the next organizational meeting.
2 and 2? Or like a 2-year term and.
I know Councillor Spicer was part of that committee for most of it, as well as Councillor Crosby was for all of it. Input from council, whatever you think.
I'd be willing to stay on it if,
Go ahead, Councillor Smith.
Just going back to what Ken was saying, and actually, I think it does make sense to go for a 4-year term. Create a little continuity and, same as anything else, you've got to get to meet the people and get to know them all.
And to be honest, we expect that the other side of the table is going to be the same people that we talked with last time. So it makes a lot of sense to have that continuity. If Constable Spicer is willing to step forward on that, and council has no objections to removing the deputy mayor and making that
Dwayne thing?
a voluntold thing, yeah, but a 3-person committee for at least 2 years. Is that acceptable to council? And you're willing to put your name forward?
Yep.
So we could amend that little piece to be myself, Councillor Cosby, and Councillor Spicer.
I need to get my magnifying glasses here.
Ruler.
And Councillor Smith, would you be willing to amend your motion?
I would, absolutely.
As discussed or
Yes.
as amended?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else from council? Not seeing anything else, I'll call that question then. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I just want to bring one point up for our new members, that all of our votes are recorded.
Yes.
So just as we don't have to record any votes on our minutes. Every one of our votes says who voted for and who voted against.
3.3, annual council meeting schedule. Again, we're back with you, Mr. Van Buell.
Again, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I am going through a lot of water here because I'm got a few to go through. So the purpose of this is to confirm the schedule for the 2025-26 regular council meetings, committee of the whole meetings, the organizational meeting for next year, and budget deliberations for the upcoming year, including the rescheduling and cancellation of specific meeting dates. So what we try to do with this is we try to schedule all of we do our best looking into the crystal ball, what's coming up, what kind of conferences are when and where. And so we have a number of motions, 7 of them to be exact. So the first would be move that the 2027 budget deliberations be scheduled from 8 o'clock till 2100 as follows. And so when we say 2027, so these would be the budget deliberations that we do in 2026 for the 2027 budget. So we're talking about next November.
Correction there. You said 8 o'clock, it's 1800.
Sorry, yes.
I was going to say
My bad.
an hour? Okay.
1800 to 21, thank you very much. So that would be during the November 17th, 2026 regular council meeting rescheduled to start at 1800. And then during the November 24th, 2026 committee of the whole meeting, again, committee of the whole meeting start at 6, we don't have to change that date. And with additional special meetings to be held on November 19th and 26th, 2026. So that's the first one. The second one is move that council schedule the 2026 organizational meeting at 1800 hours, not 8 o'clock, on October 27th, 2026, with the regularly scheduled committee of the whole to begin immediately after. The third proposed motion is move that council cancel the following Town of Redwater Committee of the Whole meetings, December 23rd, 2025. A previous council decision was to shut our offices down between the,
Second.
I know it's not, it's from the Monday before Christmas to the Friday of Boxing Day, and then we're back in the office prior to January 1st, or prior to New Year's Day. And then July 28th, 2026, and August 25th, 2026. And then the fourth is move that council cancel the following regular meetings of council, January 6th, 2026, and I'll explain that one in a bit. July 21st, 2026, August 4th, 2026, and August 18th, 2026. And then the fifth, move that council schedule the following corporate services policy committee meetings, January 13th, April 14th, and October 13th of 2026. And then the sixth is move that council schedule the following infrastructure policy committee meetings, February 10th, May 12th, and November 10th of 2026. And then the seventh is that council schedule the following community services policy committee meetings, March 10th, June 9th, and September 8th. So here's the rationale for all these. I'll try and go back to them now. For the first, the organizational meeting, I think that's fairly straightforward. The committee of the whole meetings that we're canceling, again, December 23rd, is that time at Christmas. July and August, normally council takes a break, so we cancel those meetings. As same with the regular meetings of council, we generally cancel those over the summer. And on January 6th, what we're proposing here is, that's a tight turnaround after our Christmas break, to get an agenda out and do anything that we need to do. What we're suggesting here is that we cancel this meeting, but what we need to have with council on that day is we need a workshop to talk about planning our strategic planning retreat and our strategic plan and our council retreat. And it's a time for council to say, this is what we need to see, here's some of the topics that we're gonna discuss, and here's the direction we're gonna take. We're gonna do that before we start, so that when we start to talk to whoever's gonna facilitate our strategic plan, and whoever we're gonna bring in for our retreat, we'll have a package ready for you. In the calendar that I sent out, there's some tentative dates. The end of January and the end of February, we've set aside 2 dates at the end of each of those weeks. One of the things that we want to talk about is, do we want to do the strategic plan first and the retreat second? Or do you want to do your retreat first and then your strategic plan? It's kind of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. And a lot of it depends on what's going to come out of this January 6th meeting. So that's kind of the rationale for those. Other than that, our procedure bylaw, first and third Tuesdays of each month, starting at 8:30. Is it, is, sorry,
6:30.
18:30?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna, our regular council meetings and our committee of the whole meetings are at 1800 hours, on the 4th Tuesday. We do have the following conventions and conferences that we know are scheduled. Alberta Munis in Edmonton, September 23rd to 25th in 2026. And FCM is also in Edmonton this year, June 4th to 7th, 2026. So. Other than that, I think the rest of it is fairly self-explanatory. Again, we talked about summer break, we talked about the January meeting, council workshop, the winter break, and stat holidays. So, with that, I'd answer any questions that council might have.
Thank you. Here to, so the annual council meeting schedule, 3.3.1, the first motion. Go ahead, Councillor Cosby.
I'll move that the 2027 budget deliberations be scheduled from 1,800 hours to 2,100 hours as follows. During the November 17th, 2026 regular council meeting, we're scheduled to start at 1,800. During the November 24th, 2026 committee of the whole meeting, with additional special meeting to be held on November 19th and 26th, 2026.
Okay. Discussion from council. Basically, we're trying to set up a roadmap, so Councillor Smith? No, you're good? Okay. Anything else? Call that question, all in favor? And that one's carried. Okay. Go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
Move that council schedule the 2026 organizational meeting at 1800 on October 27th, 2026, with the regularly scheduled committee of the whole to begin after.
Thank you. Any discussion on that? It's our 1-year anniversary. Call that question, all in favor? That's carried.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes?
I think we've got the wrong date on the 23rd for the committee of the whole meeting.
Which one are you talking about?
December 23rd?
On number 3.
Number 3?
The next one, the one we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 3rd.
Tuesday, December 23rd.
Is that the 3rd or the 4th?
23rd.
For committee of the whole, it's the 4th Tuesday.
Okay. I stand corrected. Just had a panic attack.
Motion number 3. Go ahead, Councillor Olson.
Move that council the following Town of Redwater Committee of the Whole meetings, December 23rd, 2025, July 28th, 2026, and August 25th, 2026.
Go ahead, Councillor Olson.
Thank you. I thought there were some rumblings that we were going to leave the end of August.
Yeah.
Committee of the Whole, because it was wait until the end of September after we've already had 2 meetings.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, thank you for bringing that up, Councillor Olson. We decided to leave it like this, but again, I think it is one, if we think back to our September Cal meeting, it was fairly loaded. And I think there is some merit to not canceling the 28th and starting off with a committee of the whole meeting. And one of the biggest reasons is, and our friend Mr. Davison isn't here, but if we wait till the end of September, Mr. Davison's report becomes very, very,
Yeah, small-
very.
Small novel.
Yeah, and again, all kidding aside, it has to be that because it's July, August, and September. Normally, we do monthly meetings for our department heads. And if we're waiting 3 months with Mr. Davison having all of Parks, Recreation, and Infrastructure, that's a lot of information that he's got to pass along. So there certainly is some merit to not starting the council schedule with a meeting, but starting it with a COW so that we can get all the report information out to council. And that gets it basically a month earlier than it would otherwise. Certainly open to that option.
The other reality, of course, is that although there's no regular meetings scheduled through summer, it's quite possible to have special meetings called because of situations developing. And I believe it was not this past year, but the summer before. I think we had 3 or 4 anyway, special meetings called during what was supposed to be the break. So I'm kind of on board with Councillor Olson and looking at having something that gives us a little preparation leading into the first meeting in September, but I'm open to whatever council might like. Councillor Smith?
Yeah, I didn't realize that Garnet could talk so much. I certainly see the value in holding the August 25th one.
Would you be amending your motion, Councillor?
I'll amend my motion to strike 2020, or August 25th, 2026.
Thank you. Anything else from council on that one motion? Okay, so I'll call that question. All in favor? And it's amended to remove August 25th. Motion number 4. Councillor Butcher.
I move that council cancel the following regular meetings of council: January 6, 2026, July 21st, 2026, August 4th, 2026, and August 18th, 2026.
Discussion. Like I say, I know it's nice to have that summer break, but at the same time, if necessary, administration only has to make a phone call for us to collectively get back together, so. Not seeing anything from council, I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. Motion 5. Councillor Smith?
Thank you. I'll make the motion that council schedule the following corporate services policy committee meetings: January 13th, 2026, April 14th, 2026, and October 13th, 2026.
And just for information purposes, we've had these policy committee scheduled for 6 or 8 years at least, but we weren't utilizing them as well as we could. So we've gone into scheduling those policy committee meetings so that we have a road to follow with them, and they have some merit to decisions of council. So.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just add one thing, and certainly on these policy committees as well, if the committee needs to meet again, if the workload dictates that they got some more work to do on some of these policies, they can certainly, it's the prerogative of the chair to come back to council and ask for another couple of meetings to be added so that we can get the work done. We've scheduled them this way because we've tried to keep everything to Tuesdays. And so we've scheduled in that second, these coincide, all these policy committee meetings coincide with the second Tuesdays of the month, which leaves us as administration and council really with only the fifth Tuesday of a month
Open.
unscheduled.
Okay, thank you. Did you have something you wish to say?
Yes, when we, like we said, we brought up these policy committees, and I find them very valuable because we are able to keep those policies up front with us, discuss with administration, discuss with council, and get a better understanding of our roles and responsibilities. And I think it was Council Cosby that brought it up, that said, if we've got these, why aren't we using them? So we've put them to use, and we're seeing a positive feedback on it.
Call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. All right. Motion number 6. Councillor Crosby?
Move the council schedule the following infrastructure policy committee meetings: February 10th, 2026, May 12th, 2026, November 10, 2026.
Any discussion? Same rules apply for this committee. Not seeing anything, I'll call that question. All in favor? That's carried. And motion number 7. Councillor Butcher.
Motion number 6, I move the council schedule the following infrastructure policy committee meetings.
Sorry, number 7.
Oh, number 7.
Yeah.
Move the council schedule the following committee service policy committee meetings: March 10th, 2026, June 9th, 2026, and September 8th, 2026.
Thank you. Anything on that? Not seeing anything, I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. Right. 3.3.1. Sorry, hang on. We have to get down here. 3.4, signing authority.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. So this is a bit of a housekeeping item, but it's legislated under the Municipal Government Act to establish a signing authority for the town of Redwater. Proposed motion is move that signing authority for all banking matters be the mayor, or in their absence, the deputy mayor, or in the absence of both the mayor and deputy mayor, the acting mayor, together with the chief administrative officer or their designate. Again, each year is required by the Municipal Government Act and Section 4.2 of the town's procedural bylaw. Council must establish who is authorized to sign for all banking matters, including the signing of checks on behalf of the municipality. During our last map review, this became a bit of an item that we had to clean up a bit because we weren't reporting designated officers. And the issue here is designated officers and reporting in your financial statements means that their actual salaries have to be reported as a designated officer in the municipal accounting statements. So one of the things we did is we changed this so that it's the chief administrative officer or their designate. And the way we handle this is if I'm away and I'm not able to sign checks or I'm not able to carry out some of the day-to-day functions. And normally this doesn't include if I'm at a conference. So if I'm at work, I don't designate an acting CAO. But if I'm on holidays or I'm away from the office for any length of time, and my rule of thumb is anything more than 5 days, then what I do is I appoint an acting CAO. And I do that formally through an email that I let all the entire organization know. That becomes, and that way whoever is the acting CAO has the authority to sign checks. And so when we go to the bank, those people, and the only 2 people that I've ever appointed acting are our general manager of corporate services, Allegra Tingley, and our general manager of infrastructure services, operations services. Garnet Davison. So those are the 2 other people that that get appointed as acting, and it solves our map review issue, and it still allows everybody to get their work done. And again, as I said, just because I don't know what's going on doesn't mean nothing's going on, and when I'm not here, I don't know what's going on, but things still go on.
Council for a motion. Councillor Smith.
I'll make that motion. Move that the signing authority for all banking matters be the mayor, or in his absence, the deputy mayor, or in the absence of both the mayor and deputy mayor, the acting mayor, together with the chief administrative officer or their designate.
Thank you. And I know council is pretty much aware, but just to make sure, all of our checks have to have 2 signatures. We're not allowed to forward monies from the accounts by check without having 2 signatures. So this provides for that check and balance. Anything else from council? Not seeing anything, I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay. We've got appointment of subdivision authority. Oh, Mr. Van Buel.
Again, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council, once again. So this is to appoint the town subdivision authority for a 1-year term as outlined in bylaw PD-01-2023. And the proposed motion is moved that Ms. Trina Lane, Land Use Economic Development Officer, be appointed as the Town of Redwater Subdivision Authority for a 1-year term expiring October 28th. So this is a real attempt of ours to reduce red tape and be able to deal with subdivision matters in a timely, as timely fashion as we possibly can. And again, it's pretty straightforward. Ms. Lane becomes our subdivision authority with all the powers as outlined in our land use bylaw.
Thank you. Council. Councillor Cosby.
I move that Ms. Trina Lane, Land Use Economic Development Officer, be appointed as the Town of Redwater Subdivision Authority for a 1-year term expiring October 28th, 2026.
Thank you. Discussion. Not seeing any, I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you, Ms. Lane, for looking after that.
My pleasure.
Appointment of legal counsel.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, so part of this is we have to appoint our legal firms. The way we do this is, again, we don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket because there are times when our legal firms are in a conflict where they can't represent us for various number of reasons. So what we've done in the past here is Brownlee basically does all of our litigation. So anytime we're being sued or we're seeking legal remedy from someone, we've been using Brownlee. And Reynolds, Mirth, Richards, and Farmer has been our advisory counsel to help keep us out of trouble. And that's worked well so far since I've been here. Again, it kind of spreads the money out and it doesn't put all of our eggs in one basket, and we have multiple choices. The one caveat here is if we can't use one of those firms because there is a conflict with both of them, which could happen, then we have to come back with to council to say, for this issue, we're going to use this, we have to bring forward a law firm for council approval. So it doesn't give us carte blanche, but it does give the CAO some flexibility of which of those 2 law firms we're going to use. And again, those are the 2, I would call them primary municipal law firms in the province.
Thank you. Councillor Olson.
I'd like to make the motion that Brownlee LLP and Reynolds, Mirth, Richards, and Farmer LLP be appointed as legal counsel to the Town of Redwater to be engaged at the discretion of the CAO. If secondary legal counsel is required, it will be brought to council for decision.
Discussion. Not seeing any, I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. We've got the RFD on the swearing-in ceremony acknowledgement.
Yeah, so Mr. Mayor, again, this is getting us on board with our requirements under our obligations for swearing in and for our orientation with council. So because we didn't do the swearing in at this meeting, it needs to be acknowledgement that the swearing in has been done. And so the proposed motion is that council accept as information that Mayor Dave McCray, Councillor Paul Brown, Councillor Connie Butcher, Councillor Tina Cosby, Councillor Rob Olson, Councillor Mel Smith, and Councillor Dwayne Spicer took their oaths of office on October 27th, 2025.
Motion from council. Councillor Brown.
I'll move the council accept as information that Mayor Dave McCray, Councillor Paul Brown, Councillor Connie Butcher, Councillor Tina Cosby, Councillor Rob Olson, Councillor Mel Smith, and Councillor Dwayne Spicer took their oaths of office on October 27th, 2025.
Thank you. Discussion from council. Go ahead, Councillor
It
Butcher.
was a great experience. And I think we have a great team for the next 4 years.
Anything else? Not seeing anything, I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you for that. And then we have council orientation acknowledgement. This is a change in the MGB. Okay, go ahead.
Again, so, Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is to formally acknowledge that the members of council have read and received part 1 of the council orientation materials as required under section 101.1 of the Municipal Government Act. So the package that we gave everybody to review, that we've answered any questions on, fulfills that role. Again, for right now, what I can tell you is this is a bit of a check the box, sign it and date it. The meat and potatoes of the orientation is gonna start on Thursday, where we're gonna get into the legal, and then next week, when we bring in Mr. Tim DeHamel from Bloom CME, we're gonna have we're gonna have a couple of days where we get to go in-depth, and we'll answer all the questions that you can possibly have on statutory plans and what a land use bylaw does. Why do we have an Emergency Management Act, all the rest of that. And we're gonna have I think they're gonna be great days. They're gonna be very informative. I think, quite frankly, even I'm gonna learn some things, and I know that the current councilors and the new councilors will all be able to bring something home from it. So, again, the proposed motion on this is that council accept as information that all members of council have read and received part 1 of the council orientation, and we will we have these all signed. I'll sign them here later tonight, and they'll be on file for when we, not if, but when we get our next map review.
Yes. For a motion, go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
Move that council accept as information that all members of council have read and received the Part 1 council orientation materials provided by the CAO.
Thank you. Anything from council? Just as an information piece, Mr. Van Buell has twice mentioned the map review, and municipal affairs will make decisions every now and again as to what municipalities under 2,500 population will receive a review from the province, and they audit a number of different factors. And I think in the last audit, we had 10 or 12 small items to look after.
There was 25.
That's 10 or 12, 25 areas that had to be looked after, and so this is just one of them to make sure we're following the bouncing ball. So. Any other input from council? Not seeing anything, I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Go ahead, Councillor Cosby.
Motion to adjourn.
Down there, sure. Thank you. Discussion. Call that question. All in favor?